This is Josh Olmsted. Welcome back. This is part 2 of Northwest Disc Golf's coverage of the Queen City Classic presented by Team Lumberjack in Helena, Montana. Joining me again is Corey Jones of the Prodigy Disc Street team. You all ready for some back nine action, Corey?
Absolutely. Let's get to it.
If you enjoy our coverage, please like and subscribe and check out our Patreon page as well. As you can see, heading into the back nine, Jared holds a commanding 11-stroke lead over Tyler Bugni. And here we have hole 10, 303-foot par 3. This is playing to the long pin position here. I didn't mention, but the first round was in short position, so this is a little bit harder, the second and final round. As we can see, Brandon has the box. This is a really cool hole. It's a little bit downhill, gentle dogleg left, and you can see it plays into sort of a bowl canyon that slopes down on all sides. So unlike most of the holes here on the Heiser Hills course where you tend to roll away from the basket, here you can see you might actually have a chance to roll to the basket.
Right, that's kind of a neat feature on that green, especially being what, at least from this video angle, would appear to be a semi-blind tee shot. But at just a little over 300 feet, that's going to be a pretty natural backhand for 4 out of 5 of our players. And you already saw Jared throw the sidearm being left-handed, so this looks to be a pretty textbook hole for these guys.
And as you can see, Tyler here putting together nice backhand drive there. Jesse going with the low line.
Great shot. Yeah, I feel that that's probably a smarter play to accommodate for the downhill to keep it from spiking too much if you're kind of trying to run the ace. But a lot of these players are doing the higher route, I think, to try to minimize skip and give themselves an easier run at a putt.
So Shane here from behind that little tree, he's just going to lay up there for his par. And here Jared, oh actually that is Brandon there for the 2.
Yeah.
And ooh, it looks like Jesse came up a little bit short. And it looks like Jared is going to take the only birdie here, showing that he is not going to slow down on the back nine either. He's keeping the pedal on the gas.
Absolutely. He is looking to take this one home with as many strokes in his pocket as he can.
Yeah, after you shoot a 1073 in your first round, he's probably just thinking this is the weekend to push himself up as he takes a birdie to push his lead to 12 strokes, and he gets to 20 under par. Some really incredible golf this weekend. As we move on to hole 11, 228-foot par 3. This is a really funky hole, and you can see this back nine plays largely along this very steep slope. So they're basically playing on the side of a hill, so lots of roll-away potential, sort of a gentle left-to-right fade. So Jared's going to have definitely a pretty gentle putter backhand shot, and looks like he's going to take the spike route.
Yeah, these kind of elevation and hill slopes are going to challenge the players on their shot selection and disc selection. I don't fault Jared for doing the high spike necessarily, especially with a slow speed disc with a blunt rim, similar to a putter or maybe even a mid-range. I would assume a putter. Nice little tree kick there if it sits down. But yeah, most players are going to have not too much trouble on a hole of this length, excuse me, short of the hill itself.
So Tyler there tried to take the same high line as Jared and comes up a little short. And Jesse here, nice shot, gets a little kick off the mini tree, and that is gorgeous.
Fantastic shot right there.
So here's Tyler. Oh, just comes up short on his birdie. He's lucky that stopped where it did, though.
Yeah, that's about the most you can ask for in that type of situation because the roll-away potential is very high.
Good putt there for Shane. Looks like the card is going to do some good work here as Brandon taps out his birdie, and Jesse is going to do the same. So 1 birdie shy of a star frame. Definitely with 5 players on the card and this much wind, star frame is going to be a pretty tall order, and almost got it there.
Close to it.
So moving on, hole 12. This is a 321-foot par 3. Another hole in the long pin position. This plays a good 25 to 30 feet downhill. Again, pretty hard to see from behind the tee pad, but you can see it from the back camera angle. The basket is behind that main white center tree you can see off the tee. And a lot like the last hole, the challenge here isn't what's in the way as much as it's going to be sticking the disc on that pretty crazy green there. What do you think, Corey?
Yeah, you know, this is a course that I've never played myself, but looking at it, I intend to. It looks like it's going to be pretty challenging. From the video itself, it looks like the forehand shot you saw from the righties there, Jared tried to do that same shot, but I think it's going to be trying to almost get it into some of those smaller trees unless you can play a real great skip shot like that. I feel like you pretty much playing it into the trees is going to be one of your safest bets.
Yeah. Yeah, it looked like Jesse had a little local knowledge playing that super low forehand skip route. You can tell he's played this hole a few times. As Brandon here is going to lay up for his par.
One of the advantages of being the one of the locals like that, you definitely can see some routes that other people never thought of. Great putt.
Yeah, no, after watching this, I think I'm going to have to plan a trip out to Montana as well. My favorite little Montana fun fact is they are the only state where it is commonly called not disc golf, not frisbee golf, but the casual players will usually refer to it as FOLF, F-O-L-F.
Old school.
Yeah, only state. As Tyler taps out his 3 there. So Jesse and Shane take birdies. Everyone else sticks with a par. Jared is holding on to a 13-stroke lead now as he has a 6-under going. And we move on to hole 13. This is a 346-foot par 3. Really tricky hole in the wind as this whole fence here is out of bounds on the right, and the pin is just about 20 feet from the boundary line, and it looks like Shane is going way out over the OB.
You just aced it, bro.
And
Wow.
he's gonna find out in a second that that unfortunately did not stick in the basket.
Yeah, that's a heartbreaker, but you know, great shot.
Oh, and you can hear they're reporting back from behind the tee. That might have been the cameraman letting him know that heartbreaker, because this is a loud chain smash.
Yeah, I mean, that was quite the line for 246 feet. He gave it a lot, and the basket just couldn't quite hold it. And unfortunately, it looks like that drive just never quite made it back in bounds.
Yeah, that's the risk here, and you'll see Jared, takes this left side line. But what's cool about this hole is that on the left there, you'd think the left is the kind of obvious safer line, but there's a lot of trees in the way. It makes it really hard to get the birdie. But if you take the fence line, obviously you risk going out of bounds. So definitely a classic risk-reward hole.
Absolutely. This is one where even a par, I would imagine, is going to be a score separator on a good portion of the field.
Yeah, especially with these rollaways. Oh, that's an unfortunate break there.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate misread of the disc angle coming into that steep of a hill. You don't ever want to give your chance of disc to roll. You want it to be as flat and as matched to the hillside as possible.
Yeah, Jesse, he gets a nice job sitting down there. Unfortunately, with the OB, that was his 4. So he will be taking a double, assuming he makes a tap in. Oh, and Jared misses his birdie putt. Good run, though. And so after that, ace chain out. Shane putting down the birdie with authority, taking the box, only birdie on the card.
Even your minis get a roll away out here.
Yeah. So Jared taps out his par.
I think he did. I hope so, because I want to see that.
I know, me
That'd be
too.
awesome.
Yeah, you can.
Right here.
Yeah.
I hope you're enjoying this, Shane. Wish it could have gone in for you there, but nice birdie. As that moves him to -3, he's putting together a pretty solid round here. He's the only other person on the card under par. As we move on to hole 14, this is a 426-foot par 3, really huge bomber par 3. It plays a full 65 feet downhill. A lot of different ways to play this hole. But with all the trees in the middle, you're going to see these guys, it's a lot more tempting to take that high line and put it up into the wind and sort of chuck and pray.
Yeah, and that's something that a lot of players will do. You need to have a fair amount. That's a great drive there.
Yeah, that's impressive.
You have to have a fair amount of control on your landing zone, because the higher you put it up into the air, the more wind it's going to play with, and the further downhill it is, the longer you climb, the ground just gets further and further away as the hill goes. So you really have to know how to play that kind of hill slope.
So Brandon here lining up the big hyzer shot. If that hooks up, that could be pretty good. And it looks like he's coming up just a little bit short there. It's a good shot. As Jesse's going to go way wide there. He's going to try to sail the long way to the pin.
There was a
And
lot
apparently
of
he knows how to
and
do it.
Yeah, again, that must be that local knowledge coming into play, because that did not look to be the shot off the tee pad, but from what I saw, I think he is closest to the basket right now.
Yeah, that was a really nice shot. This is definitely a field separator if you can get the birdie.
Smart layup. Good execution.
Oh
yeah.
Huge putt. Yeah, that's an excellent par save from about 60 feet downhill. Definitely need to take another look at that. And that was a no doubter. It's about as perfect as you could put that in there.
That was rock solid. Not a wobble on that putt. You can see there's wind out here on the course, so just amazing effort there. And that's how you save a par.
So after that gorgeous drive, Jesse sails his birdie putt a little bit high. And Jared right next to him with another great drive. And that is a 426-foot deuce. Great job by Jared.
Good work. Nice putt.
Yeah, with this point, with just a few holes to go, Jared is kind of taking a victory lap, but clearly not falling asleep on the lead.
Not at all. This is where you get to see what kind of player you are, and you can see right here, Jared's got a big smile on his face. He's out there to have fun, so he's having fun by the look of it.
Absolutely. Hole 15 here, 351-foot par 3. This is a pretty straight par 3, a little bit uphill, plenty of trees in the way. This is one of the trickier greens to access. A little bit of a throw and pray if you try to sneak it through the trees. And you can see a couple of these guys, Jared and Shane here, trying to go the high line, and unfortunately Shane hits that very first tree there.
Yeah, you know, this looks like another one of the holes that, again, 90%, in my opinion, 90% of the players are probably going to opt for that high shot, because the trees aren't overly tall. There are a few you have to navigate close off the tee pad, but once you're over the top of them, you've got all the room in the world and a pretty good chance to spike down. Short of that little hit there off the wind bounce, that looked like that was going to be a line drive. So
yeah, so Jesse there gets knocked down trying to access that green, and Shane here going with the big backhand upshot. Does a good job there. He's about 25 feet from the pin.
absolutely, that was the way to play that shot. Good effort from Shane.
Yeah. So I definitely want to mention some of the excellent community involvement here. Speaking with Christian Dietrich, the TD, mentioned the local club in Helena, the Sleeping Giant Disc Golf Alliance, and they're the group that helped form the Disc Golf Helena nonprofit that's working towards getting some new courses in the area. He also mentioned Jason Schmidt doing a lot of work as the longtime club president here. And also the title sponsor, Team Lumberjack, is a new nonprofit out of Billings, Montana, sort of the big disc golf city in Montana. And they really helped bring in some money, bring in some support for this event, really trying to grow the tournament scene here in Montana.
Absolutely, and the Montana scene is definitely expanding, and it's made its way back home to us here in the Washington and Northwest area. It's a scene that you hear a lot of our players talking about traveling to, and it's only going to get bigger. So, big props to everybody that's doing what they're doing out there.
Yeah, I've been fortunate to actually get to play several times in Montana, so I've definitely gotten to see really beautiful scenery and a lot of really open land. You get a lot of these courses on really big properties, whereas maybe a little closer to the West Coast, you see courses have to tuck into a little bit smaller spaces. So we see hole 16 here, 282-foot par 3. Pretty straightforward dog-legged left hyzer shot down this tunnel. Pretty level hole. So this is definitely a hole these guys really want a birdie.
Yeah, so far 2 for 2 off the tee pad there with absolutely great shots. Just, right about in that bullseye range there, and that makes 3 for 3. So far this lead card is making pretty short work here, this hole 16. Ooh.
Oh yeah, unfortunately Brandon not going to follow suit there. We'll see if Jesse can get us back on track. And wow, it looked like he hit the exact same spot.
Yeah, they've been playing a little bit together today, having their ups and downs, but with that upshot minus the roll away, he had a really good chance to attack from where he was. So now he's going to have a longer putt than he wanted.
Yeah, you got Rocky Mount.
And yeah, wow, copycat golf here. Jesse getting the exact same roll away.
It's almost like they're playing doubles.
Good run there.
Great bid.
Uphill. No reason not to give it a nice strong run. Unfortunately, neither of those are gonna sink in for the par.
Great birdie there. I'd have to imagine, short of any catastrophes, we're going to see a few birdies here cleaning up right around the pin. These guys are going to be putting the hammer down, only a couple holes left, and at this point it's pretty much unreachable for Jared, or anybody to catch Jared, that is.
Yeah, no. There's definitely a lot of close action for second place. I know that there was a lot of good play on the chase card. So pretty much after Jared, it is a run for second place. Tyler and Shane are tied at 9 under. So it's going to kind of come down to them for second place here as we move on to hole 17, 324-foot par 3. This is a gentle dogleg right, tucked behind the one tree down there on the right. Pretty open and flat green, unlike most of this course. One of the few unprotected pins. As you can see, Jared went pretty bit wide there, about 60 feet to the right of the pin.
Yeah, I think I heard him mention something about some headwind out there, and it also kind of looks like the trees right off the tee pad. It's hard to see from this angle, but it may force a little bit more of an angle than you would want. It doesn't necessarily look like you're directly aimed at the pin. There could be a little bit more angle in play. So.
Oh wow, they're heading to the gallery there on hole 18.
Well, they have front row seats now, that's for sure.
So Jesse lining up a turnover backhand. Looks like it's tracking pretty well, just came up a little bit short there. But it seems like the group has struggled a little bit on what's a pretty wide open hole. We'll see if they can do some work and get up and down for their pars.
Yeah, definitely more struggle than you would imagine, just from the footage and, you know, the length of the hole. But that being said, there is quite a bit of wind. You're actually seeing these trees move around a bit now, which, like I said, these are pretty hardy trees, so they don't tend to show the wind as much. So if they're moving, there's some definite wind in play.
Yeah, that's definitely something I remember about Montana disc golf was not a lot of calm wind conditions. Oh, nice job. Tyler sticks that in there for his 4. And Jared's going to tap out his par. And Jesse and Shane are walking up to take their pars. So all pars but 1 here on hole 17. So the battle for second will go to Shane here as Tyler picks up the only bogey on the card. As we move on to hole 18. This is a 650-foot par 4. This is actually a safari hole. The course is normally 19 holes, so I believe this is 18 and 19 put together. It's angled out to the right, but other than a few trees in the middle, it's pretty wide open par 4. I think the goal on the drive is you want to get it out to about 350 out to the landing area.
That was good.
Yep, get over the ravine and give yourself a chance for a long 2-shot birdie.
It's always fun when a tournament can do a little bit of layout switch up like this from your average course layout and make a bigger hole, make a safari hole. So these players that are even local, unless they play it themselves for fun, it may be something they're not used to. So that could be something they have to deal with here.
Yeah, I think it punched through though.
Yep. And other than this, the rest of the course pretty much played as advertised, and definitely, other than as you mentioned, you know, the occasional switch up with a course like this, they didn't really need to do much. It's a really gorgeous piece of land.
Absolutely, I plan on finding my way out there as soon as I can. This looks to be quite the property. I'd be happy to be playing there.
Tyler taking a little early tree. He's gonna have a long ways to go and a little bit of frustration on the final hole. He really wanted to have a better chance to attack this green.
Yeah, everybody's mentality, I would have to imagine, I know it's my mentality, is you want to finish strong. You want to finish with a good thought, a good memory, especially when it's the end of a tournament and you know you don't have another chance to get back at that. So these guys are all going to be looking to do the best they can on this hole.
So here is Tyler with his 3rd shot. And that's hyzering out a little early. He's going to have about 60-foot run for 4. And that's a great upshot from Jesse there.
Absolutely.
Nice job skipping it downhill to the pin. And Jared, after putting out a monster drive, he has actually passed the pin for 2. So he'll have putt from about circle's edge for his birdie. Here's Tyler for his. Tyler misses his par save. And here's Brandon for a long birdie attempt. Comes up a little low. And so Jared finishing out the tournament with a birdie. That's some excellent work right there. He puts down a 47, 10 under par on this harder long position course. Course is playing about 3 strokes harder than the first round, so really back-to-back excellent rounds.
Yeah, amazing work from Jared. You can't take anything away from that. He came out absolutely just shot lights out and just ran away with it. So big shout out to him. another prodigy teammate and doing big things. So congratulations on those rounds, Jared. Those are amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, he might wish he was saving a few of those strokes for another tournament, but for today, he's going to end with a 15-stroke lead on the card, and I believe that is going to be the same margin. McCoy, Connor, and Seth White jumped up into second, so three-way tie for second. Shane hops in there. Tyler takes fifth. Brandon takes sixth. And thanks so much for watching. Please don't forget to check out our Patreon page. Please like and subscribe.